Happy New Year. This is year 2025. Um, for me, this year is very peculiar because it's the year of access for me, Ephata, right? That's the word given to me, but it's not just about the prophecy of the year. For me, it's about how strategic the year is going to be. And the year 2025 for me has to be a year that I'm very deliberate, strategic, and of course, won't just approach circumstances by chance. For this reason, I'm going to be discussing a remarkable story from the Bible that I love so much. Mark chapter 10, 46 to 52. It talks about a particular beggar, blind beggar by the name Bartimaeus. He was at a point in his life where he was fed up of a lot of stuff that were happening, and he wanted a breakthrough. And I'm going to give in context, right, what I understand from this particular story and how it relates to our lives and of course our business in view. So blind Bartimaeus has been begging for quite a while. He heard that Jesus Christ was sojourning, and Jesus Christ and his followers were leaving Jericho, and he positioned himself by the roadside. Hearing that Jesus Christ was passing by, blind Bartimaeus shouted, "Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me." The good thing about this is that people felt he was distracting Jesus, so they told him to keep his mouth shut, but he wouldn't, right? He kept shouting, and the more he was told to keep quiet, the more he shouted louder. Jesus Christ stopped over after hearing him, obviously, then called him over, told him to come. What happened there was the guy threw his cloak and followed Jesus. And Jesus Christ asked him, "What do you want me to do for you?" Very, very strategic question. And thinking about this now off my head, what do you want me to do for you? I'm sure that beggar must have heard that word a couple of times in that situation he is. But today's question was different, and there's a reason why it was different or why it's different. And then blind Bartimaeus said, "I want to see." Wow. What do you want me to do for you? And the response was, "I want to see." Jesus Christ said, "Go, your faith has healed you." Immediately, blind Bartimaeus received his sight and followed Jesus. This is where it gets very interesting. Is that when you look at this story, some of the key points I want us to notice is: one, blind Bartimaeus was persistent with his cry for help, right? Secondly, he put his faith to action. We're going to be discussing all these points later on. Thirdly, blind Bartimaeus was determined. He has determination. Fourthly, his immediate response. When Jesus Christ had called him, blind Bartimaeus threw his coat aside. It means he was willing to let go of his former life, right, and approach Jesus. Fifth, he had a clear request. He said, "I want to see." Then, of course, the sixth notable one is that his faith, right, led to his healing. And when you look at his persistent cry for help, his faith in action, by calling Jesus Christ Son of David, recognizing Jesus Christ's authority and his ability to heal. Persistent cry for help here, blind Bartimaeus persistently called out to Jesus Christ, even despite being rebuked by the crowd. Determination, despite the social opposition, blind Bartimaeus continued to push on Jesus Christ's response. He didn't stop. Of course, all that came with an immediate response when Jesus Christ had asked him, "What do you want me to do for you?" And he said, "Ogbeni, I want to see." Jesus Christ had called him initially, he went. Now, when we look at 2025 from the eyes of 2024, we would see that a lot of times last year, there were things we didn't get right. And for a lot of reasons, it was because there was no clear vision. There was no clear roadmap on what we should do and how we should do it. They were not strategic enough. I'm super sure Blind Bartimaeus have never seen Jesus before. So how did he know that Jesus Christ was passing that particular route and had positioned himself in a place where Jesus Christ would meet him? It means Blind Bartimaeus probably was very good with getting the kind of information he should get. And he was strategic enough to position himself where Jesus Christ would pass, because I can confidently say, Jesus Christ probably would have had other routes to pass, but Jericho and Blind Bartimaeus at that point, at that time, had to be on that particular road for his healing. But 2025 would need to apply lots of wisdom from this particular humble story. In addition to what I've said earlier, we would need to be persistent. Challenges and opposition will arise. That one is sure. We can't even take that away. But perseverance is key to achieving success. Perseverance. There will be challenges, there will be opposition, despite of what I've been told to you, despite of what the preacher had said, the prophet had said. There will be challenges, there will be opposition. But you need to be persevered, right? You need to build the habits to have the ability to stay a little bit longer. Perseverance, that's the word. You need to be able to recognize opportunities. Blind Bartimaeus recognized Jesus Christ's sojourning. He identified and acted on the opportunities that align with his goal. So what is your goal for the year? Because the truth is, we're going to have lots of experiences, lots of opportunities this year. But if we don't have a precise goal, we would not know which of the opportunities to harness. You can't harness all the opportunities you're going to have this year. It's impossible. But with precise goal, with precise vision, you'll be able to determine which opportunity you should go after, which you should ignore. I'm very sure that very day, Blind Bartimaeus probably have other needs somewhere else. But knowing that Jesus Christ was going to pass through that road, he had to be strategic. We would need to be bold. I was telling a friend, 1st of January, that this year we have to be bold. Gone are the days when we'll be scared of taking up certain tasks because society would come after us. Gone are the days where we're going to be afraid because we are trying to avoid people's assumption, because we are scared of what people would say. Gone are the days when we would live our lives because this is the norm. No. 2025, you need to take bold steps. You will need to have clarity of purpose. That's awesome. Clarity of purpose. Clarity defines your goal. It articulates your need when seeking for help or guidance. Some of the issues we experience them because there's no clarity of purpose. When there's no clarity of purpose, you end up being in the wrong circle. You end up with the wrong people. You end up at the wrong place. You end up at the wrong possible scenario. And this, of course, have happened several times. Most of us would even attest to it. That, King's Son, is true. This thing you're saying is very, very true. Lack of clarity of purpose brings us, even when we seek for help, so gives us the wrongest choice for seeking for help. Then we need to leverage on faith and positivity. Last year, January, in fact, December 2023, 2024 January was a very, very dark period in my life. Right? But I inculcated this habit of being optimistic. I can be in the worst possible state. But then again, I have no choice than to be optimistic. There are so many things in the world I can't control. There are so many things in the world we can't control. But one thing that is certain is how we react to it. And optimism is one of such virtues. It's important we apply a lot of optimism to what we do. So life lessons for 2025, that could be it, right? And as it relates to, for those of us who are entrepreneur like myself, right, we need to be persistent in networking. We just need to keep reaching out to potential clients, partners, investors. Even initial efforts, can be ignored, but it doesn't stop you. You just need to keep reaching out and keep reaching out and keep reaching out. Blind Bartimaeus kept shouting and calling Jesus. He kept doing that. Hopefully, Jesus Christ would hear his voice and grant him his healing. And eventually what happened? He got it. Oh, he got it. He got his healing. We need to also learn how to adapt to feedbacks, right? We must be ready to receive criticism, but at the same time stay focused to our vision. There are people that would tell you to shut up because they don't want you to be better than where you are. I've experienced that in my life several times. There are people who will tell me, Kingston, I think that what you're doing is not right. What you're doing is this. What you're doing is that. I think you're doing it wrongly. I know that they don't tell me from the place of love. They are just probably envious. And even when it's from a place of love, right, you would know when people are criticizing you from a place of love. They might even use words like, I'm telling you this from a place of love, right? But it doesn't mean, because if you tell someone, and this is what I love about criticism, is that it has to be constructive. If it's not constructive, then it's useless, really. That's for me, that's how I say it. If criticism is not constructive, it's useless, because there's no need for you to point out something that is wrong and you don't have the solution. To make yourself more valuable, point out what's wrong, then point out the solution. It gives anybody who is listening to you a reason to listen to you and to seek your consent again. So we have to be very careful. Those people who will tell us, no, I think you're doing your content. It's every day you post content. Is it this? Is it that? Learn to receive it, but stay focused to your dream. You must learn how to identify market opportunities. Blind Bartimaeus seized this moment. He stayed alert for business openings and he seized them. He knew Jesus Christ was going to pass through that road. He knew. He probably must have asked. People must have told him. And that day he said, no matter how rowdy this place is going to get, you are going to hear my voice. I'm super sure he must have been relaxing his vocal cords the previous day just for Jesus Christ. And he did it with reckless abandon. To quote one of my favorite writers, Mr. Emeka Nobis will say, shameless marketing. No, but nobody in this world should market your product more than you. You are the author and the finisher of your business. So in 2025, you must learn how to identify market opportunities for your own good. And that comes, again, like we've talked about, right? Clarity of purpose and vision. You must learn how to communicate clearly. This podcast is already 13 minutes long and I'm not done. This is one of the things I said I was going to work on this year. Communicate clearly. And I've started taking courses on it. You must learn how to articulate your value proposition very well when pitching ideas or products. In meetings where you are having storytelling, there must be clarity. You must be able to express yourself and you must be able to be precise. It's very important. Somebody asks you, what do you do? I have a company by the name Aleph Biz Solutions Limited. If you ask me, Kingston, what does Aleph do? I'll tell you, Aleph is the businesses that empower other businesses to thrive today and scale tomorrow. That's what we do. If you want to go further in that, then I can now start mentioning how we do it in our services. But I've told you that we are the business that empowers other business to thrive today and scale tomorrow. Very clear, very precise. You exactly know what I'm talking about. It's captivating, isn't it? It took us time to be able to niche out those particular words for our business. Those are key points. Because we know that in this line of business management consultancy, we're going to be meeting lots and lots of investors, lots and lots of people, and you cannot buy all of their time. I went to an event once sometime last year and there was this kid that came by. And, we were three having this conversation, myself, a new business partner I met, and an investor. And next thing you know, this kid came and he just took over the whole conversation. He was talking about this, talking about that stuff. And for 30 minutes, guys, I kid you not, for 30 minutes, we were listening to this kid talk. For 30 minutes. First, he interrupted us. Then he kept, at the end of the day, guess what happened? Nobody took his cell phone number. Because what he was done talking, everyone knew that, okay, once you begin to talk a lot, right, one of the things that happens there is that you begin to dilute the authenticity of what you're saying. Keep it short, keep it brief, keep it clear, precise and concise. Anybody who is interested would ask you, wow, how do you get this done? Then of course you must be ready to invest in transformation. This is going to be my last. Leave behind outdated strategies. Blind Bartimaeus disregarded his clock and followed Jesus. We must be willing to let go. You must know when things is not working and let it go. You must know when relationships is not working and let it go. You must know when business idea seems to be outdated and you should let it go for reformation. It's very important because sometimes we want to run a business in 2025 as the way our dad ran it in 1998. It's not possible. Even Samsung, that we all know, didn't begin as a mobile production company. No, they were first a construction company, and with time they evolved, right? So these are some of the lessons we could pick from the story of Blind Bartimaeus. Such a remarkable tale, right? Anytime I think about this story, lots of lessons come. I'm super sure I might visit this for next month, but this should be enough to spur us up for this year. This should be enough to put us in a position where we would look at ourselves and we will realign, because 2025 is going to be an amazing year, right? But the outcome of 2025 solidly depends on you. I'm quoting Bishop David Oyedepo right now. Despite the prophecies, despite the oil that have been poured on your head, despite every single thing, the outcome of 2025 will be dependent on you. So the question is, are you ready? Because an orange seed remains an orange seed until it's planted on the soil. And when you plant that seed in the soil, what happens next is that seed begins to germinate. It shoots, it grows, it becomes a tree. The tree begins to produce lots of mango fruits. So if you don't do that to the orange fruit, if you don't do that to the orange seed, what happens there is that you've lost all of those orange fruits you're supposed to get from the tree. And that is where choices comes. That's why 2025, you have to be strategic. You have no choice to be strategic. Because if you miss out on the strategies of 2025, there will be nothing left for you to harvest at the end of the year. So on behalf of myself, King Sonare Wekuma, I'm speaking for Wolak and Foes podcast. Thank you.